The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for Friday, October 14th, 2022. Well, the news flow just keeps increasing. Not only the financial news, but news in general. And of course, the war drums continue. So moving on, I do want to bring your attention to the landing page. And yes, you could go broke in less than 24 hours. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you click here and read it, you will understand what we're talking about. We have, of course, the famous Warren Buffett that's made some very important statements, and it will be the derivatives markets, really the bond market. And again, here is my most viewed video with Daniela Cambone on the financial crisis and the bail-in prospects. So let's get right to it. And the market is still open with about 2.5 hours to go. And as you can easily see with my great skills with this pen, gold is off almost $23. Silver is off 66 cents. Platinum is flat and palladium is down. I did make note for my premium service, and I also think I said it once in the public domain. I actually bought platinum recently for a couple of reasons. I'll go into that more for the paid subscribers. But I thought 850 was the low. It's been in that trading range for a while. I was lucky to get in at 850. And so far, that's the best place to be in the last week or so. So certainly I'm not patting myself on the back yet. I did it mainly because I think the downside risk was so small. And there's a lot of other factors that line up for platinum being way undervalued, probably as much undervalued as silver is. And there's some key components to the platinum equation, I'll call it, than there are others. Nonetheless, looking at these miserable performance as far as price is concerned, silver is again probing the bottom. I said 1850. It held that for a little trading sessions, went up, came back down below that. It's down there probing the low again. I really still think this is probably about it. Doesn't mean exactly it. I really don't see $16, $15, $14 silver. Could I rule it out? No, I cannot, and I will not, but I really doubt it. Part of it is we just got a press distribution on this press release, and people that follow John Perez know he coined the term, Bitcoin dies and silver flies. Bitcoin, when we called the top, especially him, I also voiced that I thought, it was a good time to get out at 66666, and it was. But Bitcoin is around 19,000 now as I'm making this video, and silver, you just saw the price. But John's contention is that a lot of money went into the cryptocurrency market that would have otherwise gone into gold and silver. As far as all that money going to gold, it would have made a difference, but all that money going to silver would have made a huge difference. The gold market is about 10 times the size of the cryptocurrency market. 11 trillion versus 1 trillion. 1 trillion in crypto, 11 trillion in the gold market value. Silver is a different story. If you put $1 trillion into silver, you're looking at 40 years supply. So the idea is that if any of this money that flies out of the cryptos flies into silver, and it appears as if that's the case, it certainly could have a very, very large effect. Gold, some. Silver, it could be monumental. Will it be? Remains to be determined. Now, much has been made of the drain off of physical silver out of the LBMA and out of the COMEX. And this is all true. And I think by now, people listening to many people in the silver space these days, I don't want to name them all, but Rafi does an excellent job. BIX, everybody knows. Arcadia Economics, on and on. I don't want to leave anyone out. Of course, Mike Maloney, a stalwart, and on it goes. The point being is that there are two categories. There's the registered category and the eligible category. The eligible category is 270 million ounces, and these are, for the most part, like 98%, long-term silver investors in physical that have it warehoused at one of the registered exchanges that the COMEX approves. So you can see some of them here. Registered is what is available immediately for delivery from basically the dealer inventory. And that number right now is pretty low. It is at 40 million and change. And I want to point out that 40 million is basically what the U.S. Mint, not all world mints, just the U.S. Mint, has used in a given good year of Silver Eagles. And yet this year, they don't seem to be able to meet their mandate, which is to supply as much silver, as many Silver Eagles as required by the market. In other words, the market from the mint is dictated by the demand side, and the supply is supposed to match it. In other words, their mandate is, we've got, whatever the demand is, we've got to meet it. And they haven't. And they haven't for a long time. There's been a lot of videos on that. I won't comment further. I think the obvious is there. The point is, if they had done their job as mandated, that number would be a lot lower. In fact, you could do a quick thought experiment and said, well, the amount of demand is so heavy that maybe the total will be 50 or something. So we'll just wipe that out. But obviously it's still there. But the point is, it's very low. Now I need to comment further because I've watched this market for many, many years. And I have seen this registered category get below this number before, a couple of times actually in the last 2 decades. And in both cases, there seemed to be kind of a magical appearance of more silver into the registered category. Most of it that came into the registered category did not come from the eligible category. I wouldn't rule that out, but it'll be very interesting. We are getting skosh on supply. We all know that. I'm pointing out the numbers to you and letting you think it through on your own. So I think I'm just going to do this one article today. And this is China macroeconomy. It's on the economy. Frank Tang from Beijing. Wary of US dollar hegemony, Chinese state researchers float the idea of a pan-Asian digital currency. You can read the whole article. You can probably Google China macroeconomy. Some of the highlights: the conditions are right for the establishment of a pan-Asian digital currency that could enhance regional monetary cooperation and loosen reliance on the US dollar, Chinese state researchers say. So this goes kind of hand in hand with the whole crypto space, and China's the lead there, lead as far as practicality goes. It's probably 400 million or so that are using the digital yuan at this time. Cashless society for those 400 million. Systems worked on the social credit score, and I think most of you that have followed my work are familiar with everything I just said without me going into greater detail. However, this is another, poke at the bear, so to speak. I'm not talking Russia here. I'm just poking at the system at large as it exists currently, which is bifurcated, really. I mean, you've got 2 systems here, it appears. But I want to remind everybody that hasn't watched Crypto Conspiracy number 24 to take a look at it. The reason being is this just part of the Hegelian dielectric problem reaction solution, position A, position B, and melding into position C, which is what they wanted all the time? The answer is I'm not sure. But if you look at the Crypto Conspiracy number 24, it alludes to the fact that the powers that be in the financial circles are very willing to coalesce into one system, not a competing system. So could it be they show as a choice A and choice B, when really like the left, right, red, blue? I mean, you've got a red choice or a blue choice. You got a left wing or right wing, but they're really connected to the same bird, flying a direction, the direction that's wanted to be flown by the power elite. So is this a system that is being brought forth for us to get the idea, or is it reality? And the answer is I'm not sure, even though I did do that interview with Kent. I did not push back. I just, just because I read something that's official doesn't necessarily mean it'll be implemented. So leave it at that. This is a time to buy silver. I just did a interview with John Perez. It'll be Crypto Conspiracy number 25. John had some very interesting insights on the geopolitical front, much further than I'm willing to say, but I give people free speech, free market of ideas, and he expressed them. One thing he did say that I thought was very accurate and almost humorous, and that is, you're not buying silver now, you're stealing it. It is so low in price that it's a steal. And I think he's right. I do as I said, think that silver is probably at a bottom here or close to it. I wouldn't rush in. I'd still obey my own rules, the 10 rules of silver investing. And I would start small and dollar cost average in. And you can have a plan that you plan to buy X amount and just spread it out over 3 months, 6 months. And if silver does something like gets above 22 and it stays there like 3 weeks in a row, then you might make a decision of, okay, I'm going to finish off my purchases now because this is what took place. I really have learned for many years to let the market dictate to me what I should do, not me dictate to the market what it should do. So again, as an example, I want to buy X amount of silver as long as it remains under $20 in the spot market. I know you're paying much more than that for the premium. And as long as it stays under there, I'm a buyer. Once it gets above that amount, I'm not. You can make that kind of rule. Very simple. And in fact, we outline this in the book Second Chance on our website that you may be interested in. Some people have said that this was the best investment book they ever read. I'm not saying everybody, but I did. And it's more than one that have made that comment to me. So kudos to the late, great David Smith. He did most of the work on that. And it's probably worth the $20. It gives you lots of ideas about profiting in any market, even though it's geared more toward silver and gold. Its principles apply across the board. The only thing I would like to do is redo it. There's a couple of stock picks in there that we would take out and refresh them with some new ones. But other than that, the basic investment strategies that are in the book are timeless. I'll leave it there. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com signing off, and I'll be back with you with another perspective next week.